This lesson is about how you establish a sense of agreement in a conversation with somebody who's a left-leaning voter who may not be committed to voting. That sense of agreement is going to be important for you to influence them to do something different. Now, I said before, there's two lines of inquiry that you conceivably have pursued. One is what they care about, their concerns, and one is how they feel about voting. It's probably not difficult to validate them on what they care about, even if their top 5 concerns are not yours, because they're a left-leaning person and you can probably find a way to validate that even if those are not your concerns. You want to try to validate it authentically as much as you can. Now, on the voting question, this is where the hard work is. And it's important for you to figure out a way to tell a story or stories that basically say, I don't think you're completely crazy for opting out. Now, you telling a story about you opting out of a collective process, it doesn't have to involve voting. Maybe you were asked to do a volunteer position at work and didn't want to do it because you thought you weren't the type of person. Or maybe it was a school election that you didn't vote on because you didn't think it mattered. Your point is to convey, I have been there like you. I have made the decision that I'm opting out of some process in the past. Now, if you later on came to regret that decision, that might be very powerful, but when you first tell the story, it might be to your interest to not tell that part, because then you're moralized. The moral of the story is you're wrong and you're not trying to do that. What you're trying to do is to say, I have been where you are. And that's important to do. You can later on tell them when you get to the challenge step that you later regretted it. But you want to sit in that agreement for a little bit. Now, this whole method we're talking about is not a fact-based method. It's a storytelling method, but let me give you a fact that might be helpful. One fact to know is that in 2020, 80 million Americans who were eligible didn't vote. And people often are comforted when they know there are other people like them. Now, it also is the case that 67% of people did vote. Now, that fact you might save until you get to the challenge step, because part of what happens is when people know that many other people are doing something, it makes them more likely to do that. But the 80 million didn't vote may convey to them that you don't think that their point is ridiculous. We're pack animals. We like to be with a group, and conveying those facts may or may not be helpful. But your main objective is to say, not you're like other people, but I have been like you. I know what you're talking about. I don't think you're completely crazy. If you like the content of this video, please press like or subscribe, because that helps the algorithm push it out to more people who might want to see it. Anything you do in support, whether it's a like or a subscribe or a share or even a small financial contribution to this self-funded project, is helpful in making sure we can continue this important work of spreading compassion for the sake of democracy.